pen friends, and welcome back to Ginger Peachy Pens. My name is Sarah, and today I have another mystery matchup for you. I feel like I don't do these often enough, and then at the same time, I worry that I'm going to wear you out with them. So, they're not on a schedule, but I think this is the third one that I've done, and no, the fourth. This might be the fourth one that I've done. Um, I thought I would quickly update you on the last mystery matchups that we did. The first pen that we inked was the Twisby Go, the broad nib, with Pelican Edelstein Smoky Quartz. This was a massive fail. Remember, I don't know if you watched that video, you'll remember how hard it was for me to get it inked, to get it to flow, to get the ink to flow in the pen. It would not flow. I kept having to prime the feed every time I wanted to use it, and I would end up with ink everywhere. I just had some major issues with this, and even after filming, every time I tried to pick this up and use it, it was frustrating and it didn't work. So I think I'm probably going to let go of this pen. I did not have that issue with the last inks that I've had in this pen, but I've never had problems with Smoky Quartz and anything else. So I don't know what the deal was. I just don't love it anymore, so time for it to go. It's part of what mystery matchup is for, is to, find things I can let go of. The second pen that I inked was the Jinhao 82 in transparent blue. I think it's this one, because I took my pink and my blue, and switched all the parts around. But I think I didn't switch the ink out of the sections. So here's this. That ink has darkened a good bit in this time because it's still in there. I have enjoyed this pen every time I've picked it up. I don't reach for these Jinhao 82s all the time because I have so many, handmade pens and things that just kind of grab my attention faster, more often, But every time I use these, I enjoy them. So, this one was great. The ink was smooth. You saw that it still wrote immediately, and I probably have not written with this in 2 weeks or so. So, great ink, no complaints. Robert Oster, Sydney Lavender, did I say that? Great ink, great pen, no complaints there whatsoever. And the third one was the Pilot Custom 743 in verdigris, medium nib, and it has Venta Salambe. This pen worked great every time I used it. Still has ink in it, because anytime I think to grab this pen, I hesitate because it has shimmer in it. I love the look of shimmer ink. I really do, but I don't know why. I just, like, something in my head is like, you're going to have to keep, moving your pen to get that glitter moving around, and you're going to have to, when you write, you're going to have glitter in some spots. And I don't know, I just kind of have a mental block against using my shimmer inks. But to be fair, I've had no issues with this. You saw that it wrote instantly, and I haven't also probably used this in 2 to 3 weeks, and it's perfect, So, so I think this is a really great ink, great, wonderful pen. Would recommend either one. If you like shimmer inks, Venta Salambe, this is beautiful. It borders on a pastel purple without being pastel. Like, it's not too light to read. Maybe it would be called a pastel, but it's still kind of a bright purple, very legible, while also being kind of a pastel purple. Anyway, really, really pretty. So that's my little update on the last mystery matchup, and let's get into this one. So, all right, here's my pens. Like I've said before, these are pre-mixed before I put them in here. I still retain veto power. These are my rules for myself. I can veto something if it's already inked and I don't want to clean it and re-ink it, or if the ink that I choose is one that for some reason I don't want to put in that pen. I'm just saying that if I say no thank you, that's part of my allowance for myself here. So here we go. Let's see, I think maybe this one. Sailor Pro Gear Slim in Momo with, these inks are also pre-mixed. Ooh, there's one that fell out. So it's not like I put all my new inks in right on top of old ones. Like when I put new ones in, Pennonia Arvacska. This is a really great purple. So that will be a nice pairing, I think. I laughed because it's gonna feel similar, I think, to this, to putting like this pen with the ink that's in this pen. It's gonna be very similar. So, all right, pen number 2. Probably should move these so you can see them. I don't know. Pen number 2. It's the Narwhal. Actually, it's a Narwhal original. It was their very first ones in Poseidon blue with a steel fine nib. And it was their, they make their nibs in-house with Diamine Polar Glow. That is a sample that I took from the bottle that I gave my dad for Christmas a few years ago. All right, and number 3. Sometimes I pull these and I just, why do I feel like this feels boring? I don't know. The Little Pen Designs Acadia and Candy Nougat. Such a fun pen. And ooh, this is a handwritten one, which means I think it's a newer one. Van Dieman's Peanut Brittle. I don't love that matchup so far. I mean, right now, because that's a brown. Weird color to put in that pen. But, all right, there's our 3. I'm not going to change them. I'm not going to veto just because I feel like Candy Nougat deserves bright colors. But let me put these 2 jars away and grab my pens, and I'll be right back. All right, so let's get into it. The first pen was, I'm going to move these papers out of the way, Sailor Pro Gear Slim Momo from the Seasonal Festival series, and Pennonia Arvacska. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it is a Cult Pens exclusive. A friend actually sent me a sample of it, and I loved it so much that I ended up buying a whole bottle and then sharing the rest of her sample with another friend. So I love these Pennonia bottles. I own, I think, just 2 of them, but it is a glass bottle, really good size, and let's see, 60 mils. And from what I remember, it was pretty inexpensive. So I think their inks are a really good deal, and very well made. And I think, do I want to ink these up and then do writing samples? I think I do. Just kind of do everything in batches rather than trying to shuffle everything around constantly. So this is an easy one to ink up. Right down in there. Thankfully, in this mystery matchup, all 3 of the pens that were selected are clean. I did not have to go clean anything, which I think is the first time. And all of the inks were easy to find. So this so far has been the easiest mystery matchup that I've done. I'm sorry, I'm doing this off camera. I was just screwing the barrel back onto the pen. I did not fill it up very full, but as I've said, if I end up loving the pairing, then I'll come back and, refill as needed. So there is that. I need to stop saying there is that. Does that bother anybody? All right. And I could quickly compare for you the Jinhao 82 and the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. There are some really good comparisons out there that people have done whole videos. If you would like to see that, I can, potentially do something like that. But people have done some really good ones if you are interested, if you haven't seen them already. All right, the Narwhal Original and Poseidon Blue. This was one of the original 4 that they made when Narwhal first launched. And this is Diamine Polar Glow from the 29 Inkvent calendar. Polar Glow is a heavy sheening ink, which is not typically my cup of tea. And here's going to be my struggle with this. So you'll get to see how I handle when I don't have very much ink in a vial. I'm actually not going to use my Inkapet, even though that would normally be, I'm going to keep it open so I can sit down the container. But here's what I will do when I'm trying to get the ink out of here, and this is a piston filler. It is not a cartridge converter, so I can't easily just fill it with a syringe. Possibly I could take out the nib and feed and then fill it and then put the nib and feed back in, but that's not what we're going to do. Instead, I pull the piston, or, open the piston so that I open the knob so that the piston goes down, and then I'll open my ink and hold it in my hand. You are a little more apt to getting, is that the right word? It is more possible for you to get ink on your hands doing this because the pen is going to touch the edges here. But then I just put this in here, and can you see how deeply I am laying down this ink vial? This is kind of risky. And listen, I know that you pen veterans know how to do this, but not everyone does. It's kind of risky. I hope I'm getting ink in there. I'm not sure if I did. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. Let me see if any ink comes out when I... It's hard to see. Okay, so I'm putting the nib, making sure it's in the right way so that the breather hole on the back has the best chance of being submerged in the ink. And then here we go. Now I can see that ink level going down. And doing this, once you get that capillary action, is that what it's called? Moving, like once that liquid starts flowing and it starts pulling more of the ink in with it, you can almost completely empty an ink vial that way. Yeah, I got most of that ink. I know you can't see it because it's stuck to the sides. I got most of that ink in there, so I hope I was in frame. I've got my camera up a little higher than usual, and so I can't see the screen as well. Like, it's not right in my face. So I apologize if I'm out of frame a little bit sometimes, and I will do better next time. All right, so there is the Narwhal original in Poseidon blue. I got a little bit of polar glow on my fingers, but that is fine. Put that back right there. And last but not least, this is the Little Pen Designs Acadia in Candy Nougat. This was a commission, and so when he asked me if I wanted pink, purple, or teal for the 3 parts, I said, "Can I have all 3?" And so, because I could not choose. I mean, I literally debated for like 3 days. What do I want? And finally I decided that I wanted the pink and the teal on the outside, and that I would like the purple the best on the grip. So that has worked out really well. I got all 3 colors. I really enjoyed it. And actually, what was funny is Joe? Is his name Joe? I'm pretty sure his name is Joe. Joe said, he said that's exactly what I would do. Like, that's exactly what he would do. So peanut brittle. I should have been showing you the ink cards. Here's the cap. It's like a golden brown. So maybe it will kind of coordinate with the yellow. I don't know. We'll see. This is one that Simona sent me a sample of, and I really liked it in my Esterbrook Esty and Honeycomb. Wait, was it this? No, that was Brandy Snap. Sorry, I forgot. I don't know. I don't remember what made me get peanut brittle. I think I just got peanut brittle when I hit one of the Van Dieman sales, and it was like, buy, I don't know, they were like a certain amount off. So you got their bottles for like $4 or $5. or $3 or $4, something like that, and it made shipping like worth it. You know, like it was a really good deal that Van Diemen's does occasionally. And my friend Deb told me about it and tempted me, and so we both ended up with a lot of ink. So, okay, let me get my paper and we will look at these, and I will also get my ink swatch cards to show you these inks. All right, here we are, and y'all know my aversion to skipping pages, skipping or wasting space in my Hippo Noto. So, and actually, let me get rid of these. I actually just throw these away because these are printed for the purpose of the mystery matchups. And I'm not going to put them back in the jar. So, I've kept the first few, and then I was like, why am I keeping these? So, the first pen is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim in the Seasonal Festival Series, Momo. It has some little tiny, like, silver glitter flecks. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. And the ink we selected is Pennonia Arvacska, which is a gorgeous purple. This is a beautiful, it actually is reminding me of Salambe. Yes, they're both kind of cool purples, but this one is definitely darker. Salambe is more pastel. This is a beautiful, bright, very legible purple. No shimmer, and I really like this ink. So let's do a little writing sample. Oops. Need to see if I can bring you down just a little bit more. All right. See if I can get this right here in the frame. All right, this is a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. In the Seasonal Festival Series. It's called Momo. This has a medium nib. What are they? 18 karat? 14 karat. Gold nib. This one is, sorry for my finger. This one is very smooth. And I feel like it writes pretty wet. And this ink is Pennonia. And it would actually be Cult Pens by Pennonia. I did that wrong. Because Pennonia made the ink. So I'm just going to do Arvacska. And I need to add the little accents here and here. Also going to add them on here. All right. So that is a gorgeous pairing. I don't know that I would choose these to go together because, you know, this pink is so like soft and like sweet, and this purple is so punchy. You know, I would put it with pink, but with a brighter pink generally. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think I would have chosen it. But it'll give me an idea of how this ink works in a sailor nib like this. So that is not a bad thing. All right, number 2, the Narwhal Original in Poseidon, and the ink is Diamine Polar Glow, which I had ready to go. I lost it. Here it is. All right, here is Diamine Polar Glow. You can see that it is a heavy sheener. Can you see the red sheen? You can see it up here for sure. And in this light, it's coming across darker, I think, on camera than it is in person. It's a bright blue, and then the writing sample down here is all red. It's all sheen. So I tend to not love heavy sheeners because you lose the ink that, you kind of lose the ink that you're using to the sheen. Or you can. So here we go. Narwhal. Oh, this is back when it was narwhal, actually, but it is now. Now called. They're still pronounced narwhal, they say, but their name spelling is changed to Nahvalur, um, which is the what is the language name for a narwhal? And they did that so that they would be easier to like Google, and you know that was part of the reason. I don't remember all the reasons. Anyway, this is back then. I think it was just called a narwhal fountain pen in Poseidon blue, but now like this line is called the original. This is in Poseidon blue. How many times can I say the names of these things? This was called a fine nib. I would say it's probably closer to a medium, but they're made in house. So, and at the time, this was the only nib size they made. So, you know, they didn't have a medium to compare this fine to um, from their own line. So I don't know if you can see this, but the text has just about completely turned red. And it flows really well in that pen, actually. At least at the beginning, it is freshly inked, which can make a difference. I wish this light was better. One day, guys, I will have a setup near a window where we can see things better. But it has mostly, you can still see some hints of that bright blue, but it is mostly red sheen. And last, but certainly not least, this is the Little Pen Designs. Whoa. Okay, so this pen still had some remnants of whatever the last ink was that was in here. Because that peanut brittle is not green. I'm glad that I didn't like pump, the ink back. I think I'm going to try to push a little ink through the feed. Let's see. Have a tissue. I'm doing something kind of dangerous here, but I'm going to like twist I'm just going to push some of the ink out and see if I can get to that color that the ink actually is. All right, we'll see if this works. I just pushed some of the ink out onto a tissue. Just trying to push through that blue. I don't remember having a blue in there. I had purple. Okay, I think this is probably it. So here is the ink swatch. And no, it's still coming out a little bit too green. Well, I need to probably go flush this pen and try again. Well, I decided we can get the gist here. Okay, so this is Van Dieman's. This is from their Harvest series, and it's called Peanut Brittle. I'm a little bit bummed about that. I didn't finish writing the name of the pen. This is called the Acadia in Candy Nougat. I think it's getting down to that yellow. It's still got a little green hint to it, but it's getting closer to that yellowy, that orangey yellow, brownish yellow. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm as in love with this ink as I was with the swatch, online. I think this is only the second time I've put this ink in a pen, and I don't know. I don't feel super thrilled about it. But and this pen, I'm all over the place with this one. It has a fine nib. A Yovo. Yeah, I don't know. This ink is kind of dry, which is normal for yellows, very light colors to feel kind of dry. I don't I don't love this combination. But the yellow and this color are not so out of the like they could be in the same family. I'm just a little disappointed. But all right, here I am doing my doodling. When I doodle, I usually just doodle words. So is that if you're a doodler, do you doodle words or do you doodle like pictures? Because I generally just will fill whole pages with words. So anyway, okay, well there are our 3 mystery matchups. I will be putting these in my pen case and using them as much as I can for a while. I say as much as I can. I will use them whenever I feel like using them in my journal. Um, I will also continue to have in my pen case these, which this one, let's see, this one is also still inked, yeah, with a pink ink. So, but I will also continue to use these last mystery matchup pens and enjoy those. I really do like this series. Part of me just wants to do like a big mystery matchup marathon and ink up like 30 pens, so you could get some really fun things. I don't know. Like, not that these aren't fun, but I don't know. Is 3 not enough? Should I do 5? It's going to make the videos longer. Like, what do y'all think about the mystery matchups? Let me know. I have gotten some feedback through the giveaway form, and I feel like a lot of people say they like mystery matchups, so I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think about these ink pairings? Um, let's have a chat in the comments. So, and I do apologize. I do want to mention 2 things. One, if you're seeing this tonight on Friday night, October 27th, tonight is the last night to enter the giveaway. So you have until 11:59 Central U.S. time. We're just 1 hour behind like New York City. So if you need to look that up, if you're in another part of the world, um, can find that. I realized that I set myself up to like need to stay up till midnight so I can close the giveaway. I should have ended it at like 10 p.m. But the giveaway ends tonight. And secondly, I just want to say that I am sorry I have not replied to comments for a little while, pretty much since I started the giveaway because I got such a big influx of comments. And if you've been around a while, you know that I like to respond to comments. I at least will read them and like them, but most of the time I actually respond. Like type a response because I enjoy that chatting. But I think just doing the giveaway and getting so many responses kind of overwhelmed my brain a little bit. And I haven't responded to anything on any video for like 2 weeks. So part of what I'm going to do this weekend is respond to everything. But I just wanted to apologize and tell you that's not normally like me. Normally, I like to respond to comments pretty much like within a day or 2 of when they come in. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Thank you for everyone who's entered the giveaway. I've gotten so much feedback that I look forward to reading through and possibly sharing with you some people's responses, not their names and stuff. Like if you enter, don't worry, I'm not sharing your personal information, but I might share, some of the things that people wrote in their suggestions or their favorite pens or what they love about the fountain pen community because I have loved already just the few that I've read. I've kind of been saving them up. And I'm going to spend some time this weekend reading what you guys have submitted. So I look forward to doing that. And maybe I'll share some of those things. Maybe share some, like, I'm excited for some of the ideas that you've given me for other videos. And there's some things that a lot of people are asking for that are not my cup of tea. And so I might want to just share a little bit about, like, here's why I don't do much of what you're asking for. So, anyway, we'll see. I've kept you here long enough. Thank you so much for being here for this mystery matchup. And thank you for being on my channel. I appreciate you guys. Like this video and subscribe if you would like to. I'd love to have you stick around. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.